So I have a comprehensive strategy for fostering peer relationships and social competence in school-age children. The executive summary and foundational assessment, which is connected to the grandparents' compass. All this is very important for all of you grandparents when you are supporting a grandchild or your grandchildren and teaching them by mainly your example, first and foremost, and having respect towards your grandchildren's parents, no matter how much they piss you off or what they're doing that is not healthy for your grandchildren. This is about example and posturing as far as your impression to them as a person of wisdom. The critical role of the grandparent in navigating family boundaries. A grandparent occupies a unique and valuable position in a child's life, capable of providing crucial emotional and practical support that enhances the child's overall well-being and social resilience. In the context of helping a child overcome difficulties in making friends, the grandparent functions most effectively as a consistent source of security, a supplemental social coach, and an advocate. This supportive role requires delicate coordination with the primary parents to ensure interventions are successful and boundaries are respected. And of course, that's in an ideal situation. Most aren't. Most are challenging situations where parents are caught up in their drug and alcohol addictions, violence, and bad relationships. So many broken families. Back to this topic here. Effective intervention is predicated upon establishing collaborative practice. Caregivers must engage in open, honest communication to understand the primary parent's established rules and underlying intentions, whether related to activity schedules, discipline, or social exposure. It is necessary to approach this new role with a commitment to education and planning, much like any significant life transition. This consistency across all adult caregivers is a fundamental prerequisite for successful behavioral modification. If a child receives contradictory guidance, for instance, one caregiver encourages interaction while another inadvertently speaks for the child out of anxious protection, the child's environment becomes unstable. This inconsistency allows the child to use avoidance strategies, stalling the necessary practice required for social growth and often increasing overall anxiety levels. Therefore, the grandparent's foundational action is modeling healthy, collaborative communication with parents, demonstrating how to handle potentially conflicting viewpoints respectfully. This action inherently reinforces the supportive and communicative behaviors being taught to the granddaughter or grandchildren. All of these things that I'm relating to are a part of my full presentation video, which I will have on Grandparents Voices 888. Now, other things that apply to us grandparents when it comes to dealing with challenges with our children and how they rear their children. We have to keep our egos intact. This is the greatest way and most successful way to make a difference in your grandchildren's lives. It's so hard not speaking up from our own ego, the way that we see things happening according to our way of thinking, the way that we think our children should raise their children. Because in most cases, we as grandparents, if we don't recognize that we have caused a lot of these character so-called defects, I'm using that term from my own vocabulary, but our character defects are something that we need to put aside and leave in the past. We are living the now. Every time we cause conflict and get separated from our grandchildren, cut off from them because of a parent not liking what we have to say, you have to reflect on what you did in your life to set that example for how your children are now. And in my situation, it's all about abandonment. I believe the total foundational root of all of these actions that have been taken towards me in my desire to protect my grandchildren is because I left my family many years ago. So when I abandoned my family, I was caught up in my addictions: alcohol, drugs, pornography, and a successful career. So my successful career took me away from my family and into the world and into the corporate networks where there were beautiful young women everywhere. And with the success of my art career and my reputation, I had got a little too much attention, which I was not very good at deflecting. That being said, that relates to the past. I've had to work very hard on myself, but it was the humbling transition that made the difference and also caused all of this blocking, isolation of my grandchildren, one grandchild in particular. My granddaughter has been isolated from me and everybody connected to me, except for my mother. Now, the whole situation that you all have to deal with, if you are still with me here, is that you need to work on yourself and be patient. Be patient, do your research. AI is giving us so much at our fingertips that you have no excuse. If you want the rest of your life as a grandparent to be gratifying and to be what you can be proud of, and give your grandchildren that outlet for an escape of security and not conflict. I've had so much turmoil because of my daughter not being able to accept that I'm trying to protect her daughter, because when I stopped enabling my daughter in her lifestyle and she left her husband, who she was very abusive to, especially when she was drunk, that's when it all went literally almost south. All the different things that made it seem, especially to the rest of the family and their friends, like I was interfering with my grandchild's life and theirs. Anyways, I never stopped trying to see my granddaughter. I wanted to make sure. And this is one thing I encourage you all to do, grandparents. Your grandchildren are worth stepping over the boundaries when it comes to their safety and their connection to you. And I want to finish this part of my presentation on that note, that when your grandchildren are in unsafe environments, do whatever you can, whether it's just driving by the school or just driving by to say I love you or get a hug. take that chance. What can happen? I have no legal block from me, but it's very difficult for me to even get to see my granddaughter, especially when I'm blocked at the school where I'm usually able to do my cultural presentations with my granddaughter and at her school, or any school, but her school in particular, they have informed me that I cannot even step on the property to see my granddaughter. I will take the chance, and I have. I'll do whatever I can to let my granddaughter know that she is loved and that I am here for her, and I've encouraged her to speak up to her teacher and the counselor at her school, and I encourage you grandparents to inform your grandchildren they can do the same thing. We have to stand up against this bullying and isolation and abuse of children. This is the bottom line. The system that we are in does not protect children. It divides families, divides children from their families. But if you can, make every effort legally, if you can afford it, or just take legal action through the courthouse to speak to a judge with your children about these situations. Hopefully the judge will be in favor of what you are speaking about and your concerns about your grandchildren. So again, don't want to get on my own little... Again, these things are deeply rooted, I believe, just looking at all the research I've done and advice from counselors who have stated that this is all relating to abandonment from the past, abandonment trauma. So looking at how we are as grandparents, who we are as grandparents, how do you want to be, and who do you want to be to your grandchildren? Be an honorable grandparent. Stand up for your grandchildren and stand up for her rights. Give your grandchildren, grandsons, granddaughters, give them a voice. You be that powerful voice, but first you have to be that true example. Don't be a hypocrite. You can't. If you have a drinking problem, how can you tell your children not to drink, or how can you criticize them? Don't be a hypocrite. Clean your life up. Let go of all those addictions and focus on your inner power, who you are as a human being, and what kind of grandparent you want your grandchildren to be able to run to when they can. And there will be a day and a time, if you can do it legally, great. Yes, the rest of the family in the world will hate you, but it's not about them. It's about your honor and what you're doing as a grandparent. This is our duty to stand up and give our grandchildren a voice. So keep being strong, keep being powerful. Go within and rebuild. You can rebirth yourself. The past is behind you. Doesn't matter if anybody else believes you. It's about your grandchildren seeing the example of your love through a true transformation and in your wisdom and being the kind of grandfather or grandmother that they can trust, because that's the whole thing. Children haven't very many sources that they can trust. Even going to the school, even going to the counselor, teachers, that all goes back to the government sources. It's all on record. And if the parents are not in good states, both of them, that's the danger, unless you as a grandparent are standing up to offer a safer environment for your grandchildren. Be wise, be strong, be loving, forgiving, and honorable.